Hey, welcome back into our podcast today. Today we are going over the numbers, market conditions for November 2023. And then we have a special edition you're going to want to sit around for. We're going to quiz Brian on one of our favorite places in the northern Nevada area, which is Lake Tahoe. So we have a quiz that Brian hasn't seen. We're going to ask him some trivia questions, top 20 trivia questions about Lake Tahoe. So you want to stick around to the end. So we're going to do the Christmas edition here. We're getting close to Christmas, 12 days away, or 11, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the market conditions. Now, again, we always talk about this. It is the resale homes in the Reno Sparks area, Washoe County, essentially. And we're going to go over the numbers, talk about what's going on in the market, and maybe give a little peek on what's going on into 2024. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so median sale price, Reno Sparks, these are not new homes, these are just the resale, and these are not condos, is about $555,000.
Yeah, which
So,
is slightly down.
Yeah, but year over year up, shockingly enough, 1%.
Yeah. I don't know, last year was kind of a rough November, I think, so I could see that, right? Because interest rates had really peaked the first go around at the end of October 2022, and they just did the same thing again. It's like repeating.
So, a healthier marker, in my opinion.
Yeah.
1% in a regular market. We're not used to that in northern Nevada. You know, it would be nice to see
12% a year.
a 2 to 5% increase, which
Every
is
year?
sustainable every year. Because otherwise, 20%, no one's going to be able to afford a home here. So, down 3.4 from October. What about closed sales?
318 closings, so that's off month over month, 7.8%, but off 8.4% from last year. So a lot less homes selling. They're selling for 1% higher in price on the median, but yeah, I think that's healthy.
Yep. So, I mean, there's not a lot of houses selling. I mean, if you imagine all the houses in Washoe County in Sparks, and there's only 300 closings. So, pretty tough time for realtors and lenders, as we know.
Tough time for a buyer. What are you picking from?
Yeah, that's another problem is buyers are, it's hard to find the perfect house right now. You're going to have to settle if you want to buy right now.
Yeah, well, if you're selling a house in the wintertime when it's, you've got a reason you're selling it. You've probably got a low interest rate, so to unlock, to need to release that, you've got a good reason to go. Whereas, if I had to pick, I probably wouldn't pick November to sell my house.
Right, Christmas time and all that. So, now what's interesting, which is nice in my opinion, I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but it's the median days to contract. We've crested to what a normal market is almost, which is 35 days. So what that means is once you put your house on the market, you can expect an offer within a little bit over 5 weeks offering. So
I remember when 90 days on the market was like normal. So,
yeah.
I don't know, and that was like a normal market. It was like more than 90 days if it was like,
I'd like 35. That's a nice time frame for everyone, in my opinion. So.
Okay.
We're going to skip list price. What about median price per square foot?
$302 a square foot. It's, 2.4% up from a year ago, minus 2.3% from last month. So off a little bit. It's $300 a square foot if you take your square footage of whatever house you want to buy. That's a pretty good benchmark for what it's roughly going to be valued at.
Yep. So that's a really good thing. And like we say to all of our buyers out there, if you're looking at a house that's median home price or a little bit lower, you can easily walk into a house and say, is this house overvalued, by simply taking a price per square foot between 300 to 305 square foot.
So we'll get to new listings in a second, but one of my thoughts here is that how much does it cost dollar per square foot to build a house? Because if there's not enough houses for sale, I get a lot of calls about like, hey, I want to buy some land. I'm just going to build my dream house. Have you done a video on building costs?
We can, because it's a lot different now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
A year ago, you probably couldn't build a nice house, and this is just without the lot. So about a year ago, when I looked into it for some clients, first you got to buy the land. So this is not included in the land. So there's several issues. This is a good question. We can spend a second. So first of all, that doesn't include the price of the land. So you got to buy the land, unless you're doing it from a new home builder, obviously. But if you're thinking about doing custom home, it's the land plus the cost. And I had several contractors quote a client $350 to $400 a square foot.
Gotcha.
For a custom home, that's not super upgraded, but that's like nice flooring, you get the taller ceilings, it's a decent house. But if you
Gotcha.
want a really, really nice house, you're probably in the 450 to 500. But the other problem is when you go buy a new house, we have a lot of clients wanting to do this, the property taxes will crush you.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing for sure.
And we have a whole discussion on that. Check the video above, because when you buy a new house, there's no depreciation of the property tax.
Yeah.
So it can be 1% to 1.25% of the sale price. So if you're buying $1 million house, it's $10,000 a month, $10,000 a year.
Yeah, on the lending side, our best guess is 1% of the final sales price, but that's a guess just to set up a.
So those are the challenges of buying a house right now, and you gotta have a lot of cash.
So it's cheaper to buy a house than it is to build a house. That
For right now, yep.
Okay.
And up the higher end, there's some really good deals. Just the higher end's really feeling the pinch, in my opinion. When I look at up the Mount Rose Highway, the higher end homes, it's really tough to sell a home for $3 to $4 million now, because it's so much money a month if you get an interest rate on it. So new listings. This is kind of the problem with our real market right now for buyers. New listings have plummeted. Under 300, actually 268.
Okay, so let me get this straight. 318 homes sold, but there's only 268 new ones to pick from if you missed out on the month before?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
so we're negative. So
29% drop month over month. Yeah, I'd say that's
so
challenge.
Several things going on here. Is it's very typical in the winter time to see this, but not to this level. Usually we're in the 3 to 450 range.
I mean, because year over year it's off 6.3%. So yeah, it's definitely below the average of new listings. So.
And that's the challenge in our market right now, is there's no inventory.
Well, there's the supply demand. No wonder median prices stand pretty good.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Is that's why median home prices are sticking, 550 and higher right now. Just keep in mind the median home price high was 615 here in Reno Sparks.
So that means that active inventory dropped 16% to 705 active homes for sale as of November 30th, I'm guessing. So right after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
33.5% drop from the last year. So last year it was definitely more homes for sale. There was a little bit of a pullback on overall in the market, which then we see that median price has actually gone up since then. So yeah, I guess with high interest rates and low activity or low active listings, I don't see a housing drop anywhere in our future.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are. We work with a lot of buyers that saying the market's going to crash. But when you have this much difference between what was on the market previously and now, and then we still have a lot of people. I just drove through, Silver Springs, that area, and there's a lot of people still moving here.
My thought on anybody that thinks the housing market is going to crash is probably you don't own a house already.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants a good deal, so
Well, sure, but
I hope
if you own a house, like you don't want the house market to crash, you would just be like, nah, I don't need to sell, so I'm not going to sell. So that holds the market steady. If you don't own a house and you're missed out on whatever equity has been built over the last couple of years, you missed out. I mean, yeah, you'd want there to be a crash, but I don't see that in supply-demand world. That doesn't seem possible.
And Brian and I coach our clients all the time. This is why stock market, housing market, in our opinion, is a long-term game.
Sure.
So you can't be buying in this market expecting next year you're going to be up 20%. Yeah. Those days are over.
Well, and
it's not sustainable.
I always like when people, let's say a year ago, folks were buying a house and the interest rates were moving up, so they were sucking it up and buying a house, and there was this stupid phrase going around that, date the rate. That's what they say. So basically, let's say you bought the house, assuming that you'd be able to refi in 6 months to 12 months, and now it's been 12 months. The housing market's gone up a little bit, 1% on the median price, so prices aren't up substantially, but they're up, sustained, right? But you're not refinancing, because last year you got 6.5, and now it's almost 7.5.
Yeah, so you got to be careful, and that's another thing we coach our clients on.
It is a 30-year fixed loan, though. So.
Yep. So just keep in mind that you got to be able to afford the mortgage you're currently getting, because there's no guarantee. Anybody that tells you that rates are going to be down next year, nobody knows, because anything can happen, as we have seen globally, that we have no power over, and it can cause things to go haywire. So obviously, once the supply of inventory is low, it's down in the seller's market area. It's 2.2 months. So it's really tough out there for buyers. That's our challenge.
That's 27% drop from last year. So yeah, so compared to what you had to pick from last year, the month supply is basically just eroded in the last year.
All right, so let's give it a little hope. So let's
Okay.
recap.
Well, it's a new
We're
year.
at the new year in very short period of time.
I always love that most of these charts, like starting January, you just see like the beginning of the year is when the upsides take place. The wintertime it's just a slow time, right? I just
Yeah.
it feels exacerbated this year. I think people are just worn out.
Yeah. So there's hope. Right after we said don't anticipate rates to drop, but it does seem like inflation is kind of easing a little bit. It does seem like the Fed has his foot off the pedal. So hopefully we have some
Cruise control. That's what they're on.
lower rates, or I would say more calm sailing into 2024.
Yeah,
You think so?
Well, less volatility would be huge, right? So if the Fed's not talking about raising rates, the bet is now turned to when could they lower rates, which could be a year from now.
Yeah.
But if nothing else, inflation is running around. I think today was 3.1%
right.
for consumer price index. 3% is higher than 2%, which is their Fed target. So it seems to me like they're going to hold steady. Don't have a lot of reason to lower rates until we start creeping down into the twos. Mid 2.5%, they might start to back off the federal funds rate. Some bankers think it'll happen in May. It could happen sometime next year. A little bit of a pullback from the Federal Reserve would definitely help things out. Hopefully it would help people make a decision. Do I really want to sell my house? Go buy something else, and that's going to unlock some more inventory.
So be patient. We've had actually quite a few people call us recently that we're working with that are looking around. So our message to them is be patient. There will be more inventory as we get into April, May.
I think the interest is there. People want to move to the area or are moving to the area. It's just going to be a matter of can they find a place that they can either settle on or can the dream home come around.
That's right. So, all right. So done with the market report.
All right, that's November. We're moving on.
Now we're doing one of the best reasons to move the Reno Sparks area is to go Lake Tahoe. So I thought it would be cool to bring Brian in and talk about this. I think this is from the Motor Boat Association up in Tahoe. We'll put the quote below so we stay in compliance. But we're sharing their information, and my son, who's 11, tends to disagree with some of these answers. So, all right, Brian, you ready?
I'm ready.
Trivia question to end the 2024 or 2023. Lake Tahoe. What is the maximum depth?
Okay.
So,
it's...
So you have 524 feet.
Okay.
Essentially 1,179 feet, 1,700 feet, or 2,400 feet.
Now, have they actually gone to the bottom of Lake Tahoe?
That's what my son has said. No one's actually reached the depths of Tahoe, but this is just an estimate. What do you think?
It's not over 2,000. I know that, so I'd say C.
Okay.
What is that? 1645.
1645, 1650. So there you go. It's a deep lake.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Now we know a lot of people who have tried to swim Lake Tahoe.
I have some friends that have tried.
So how long? I guess, and this is north and south. Is the shoreline of Lake Tahoe, or maybe that's all the way around?
That's the whole way around.
All right, so it's all the way around. How far is it? And there's a bike ride every year that you can go in September and in the spring that takes you around this. So 72 miles, 125 miles, 192, or 242, all the way around.
Okay, I think it's less than a century because I have some friends that are bikers. So what is that, 72?
72.
Okay.
So 72 is correct.
Okay.
Our recommendation is if you're a biker or moving to the area, make sure you just Google it and check out. There's a biannual bike race where you can bike the entire area, and they do a good job of making it.
From someone that did not live at Lake Tahoe and came from like zero elevation, work your way up to bike.
Or hike for that matter. All right, so we're going on to number 3.
All right.
What is the average ambient temperature of Lake Tahoe in the summer?
In the summer?
57, 65, 70, or 74.
It's cold as shit. That's what I remember.
Hey, you gotta believe that.
70%, 70 degrees?
70 degrees.
Is that right?
Yes.
I don't even know.
70 degrees is the ambient temperature.
The first time I ever jumped in was in May, and it was not.
That's ambient temperature. That's not water temperature.
Oh, I know. It was definitely.
But so yeah, you want to head up there and get in the water when it's 95. That's in June. You can't do anything until June or July. I'm just telling you here.
Again, I was new here. My friends decided that was a great time to have me jump off the rocks, and I found it the hard way.
How many streams and rivers flow in Lake Tahoe? 33, 43, 53, or 63?
It's not that many, is it? 33, I guess? The smallest, whatever the smallest is.
No,
No?
it's actually 43.
Okay.
So that's a good amount.
Streams,
I mean,
guess.
obviously,
Every
you
little
look,
stream you
it's
name.
alpine, it has a lot of mountains, it has a lot of streams. But 43 is a good number.
Okay. I guess they're not always flowing, right? So I'm used to hiking around when they're kind of dry.
Yeah, in the summertime, they're probably less last summer. So, all right, we'll continue on. This is a good one.
Okay.
What is the oldest town on the shores of Lake Tahoe? South Tahoe, Incline, Tahoe City, Kings Beach.
It's definitely North Tahoe. I think it's Tahoe City, because wasn't that the easiest access point?
Tahoe City it is.
Okay.
So that's the oldest one.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
The river makes it the easiest one to get to.
Yep. All right, so we're on number 6, which is on 2 pages here. What is the highest peak in the Tahoe Basin? So a lot of to choose from. Obviously, there's Mount Talac, hike that one. Mount Rose,
Speaking of basin,
Friel Peak, Pyramid Peak.
this is Rose. It's got to be Rose.
It is not Mount Rose.
Oh, that's
it is
just-
Friel Peak.
Okay. That's.
And I think that's up by Mount Rose. Actually, if you go up Mount Rose Highway to the top, the summit, you can actually hike there. You can either go to summit to walk up 10 miles to the summit of
Okay.
Mount Rose proper, or you can go to Friel Peak. So, it's Friel Peak.
I've
Go
done
figure.
Mount Rose, so I guess I wanted it to be that
Great hike. Go check it out. We can almost make a video about what to do in Tahoe here. So, what is the largest island in Lake Tahoe? Wow.
one. Largest island, the only island? Or is
Yep, it's Frenette Island, Emerald Bay Island, Sand Harbor Island, Crystal Bay Island. Come on.
It's Emerald Bay.
No, it is not Emerald Bay.
Crystal Bay Island? Where's it?
Emerald Bay Island is not an island. It is the Frenette
Oh,
Island.
it's the Frenette. Okay, it's in Emerald Bay.
Yes.
All right, welcome to the
Tricked
guide.
you.
Yeah, you tricked me. All right, well,
All
it's
right.
in Emerald Bay. I was
All
in the
right,
right
so
vicinity.
we've gotten a few wrong here. Let's
Hey, I didn't claim to be a professional.
let's
at
get this going. How many ski resorts are located in Lake Tahoe? Do you ski?
I snowboard.
Snowboard. Do you have a pass somewhere?
Rose.
All right, well, let's go. We got to go do that.
Oh, yeah.
How many ski resorts are located in there? So 7, 11, 15, or 19?
Total, it's got to be more than 7. It's 11 or 15. Let's say 15. 'cause there's
15
one
is
small.
correct. You're on the winning side here. 15 ski resorts. Isn't that incredible?
'Cause I
That's
don't-
another reason to live here. A lot of great ski resorts around Lake Tahoe. So, and we're partial to Mount Rose.
Do you think they'll open the cross country this year at Spooner?
I hope so.
I had to break in and do it myself last year, but
I'm not a cross country guy. I like downhill. That's all I do. And then we take our kids to Mount Rose. So, all right.
they get a lot more tired.
You ready for this? What is the name of the famous hiking trail that encircles Lake Tahoe?
The Rim Trail.
Tahoe Rim, Sierra High Route, Pacific Crest, or John Muir Trail?
You don't have to read them all. It's the Rim Trail.
Rim Trail is correct. Good job. I thought you might pick the John Muir, but that's not it. Okay, so he's on a little streak here. I'm proud of you. You're doing well here.
I'm all warmed up.
All right, so what is the unique feature of the Lahontan Cutthroat Trout species in Tahoe? So there's a species of trout.
Yeah.
They glow in the dark.
Okay.
They can change color to blend in their surroundings. That's a good one. They live in both freshwater and saltwater. They are the largest fish species in the lake. Oh, come on.
No, that's B.
It's B.
Yeah. But
And looking at it, they change color, so they're hard to see in
that's
there.
unique to just the Lahontan Cutthroat Trout?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I guess I thought maybe it's just because of the way that the most trout would shine in the sun. Like
I don't even know this one. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
What is the original name of Lake Tahoe? Lake Carson, Lake Washoe, Lake Fremont, or Lake Bigler?
I read this on one of those, on one of those hikes that I make my kids stop and read all the little signs. I think it's Bigler.
It is. I did not know that one. Lake Bigler. That's
Makes
why you're
sense, it's
paying
big.
attention.
It's big. Well, I just
Lake
thought it was
Carson.
funny.
Lake
Carson's
Washoe.
definitely-
No,
yeah.
Lake. All right. Number 12. What is the most populated town on the shores of Lake Tahoe? Tahoe City, South Tahoe, Incline Village, Zephyr Cove. This one should be easy.
South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, South Lake Tahoe has all the. It's a
That's
pretty big area if you look at the map and all the buildings. So.
Just count the casinos.
It's right. Ooh, this is a good one. Now, I don't know what the year this is, and it keeps growing. The interesting part is I work for a company that, yes, if you come to Lake Tahoe Basin, they track your cell phone. It's supposed to be anonymous. and they
Okay.
follow your cell phone signal, and that's how they tell you how many people are coming to Lake Tahoe. So that's a fun fact. Work for an engineering company that does that.
Do you think they only do this in Lake Tahoe?
No, they do it everywhere, but Lake Tahoe is tracking you when you bring your cell phone, and the pings off the tower, they take that data to figure out how many people come.
So if you want to hide, you got to turn it off before you get there. Huh?
No, actually, it gives off a signal even if it's off.
So leave it at home.
Leave it at home. How many people visit Lake Tahoe each year? 5 million, 8 million, 10 million, 15 million. Think big.
Think big. Well, I mean, I guess 15 million, that's a lot of people. But I mean, I guess it's a lot of folks just, come up for day trips. Sure, 15 million.
15 million.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, because you have big ski times, and a lot of people come up. And then the summertime is, I don't know if you've been to Santa Harbor recently, but it's pretty much closed at 6 a.m. It opens at like 6 and 6:30 it's
I
closed.
try not to go other than in September or
So,
May. And
15 million people come visit. So,
and this is why, I guess.
Right.
This is why I stay out during the peak season.
okay, what is the name? Oh, come on, you know this one. Have you? I want to know if you've been on this. I have actually been on this. What is the name of the famous wooden boat that offers tours of Lake Tahoe? Have you been on it?
Well, isn't there two?
Tahoe Cruiser, Tahoe Queen, Tahoe Tug, Tahoe Voyager.
Well, it's the Queen, but there's two.
There's two. I don't know which, but it is.
But I've been on the
Tahoe
Queen.
It's
yeah,
fun.
it was
Check it out. I think it leaves from Zephyr Cove, right?
Yeah. I think one of them's on South Lake, one of them's in Zephyr.
That's true. So
The Dixie something?
yeah, there is one. There is another one. We'll have to look that one up. So yes, Tahoe Queen. If you haven't gone on it, they have great cruises. Man, we should just make this like a travel section. We're doing all this free advice. Charge you later. Okay, so 5 more. You warmed up here.
All right.
I'm proud of
5
you.
more.
Okay, what is the name of the famous mansion located on the shores of Emerald Bay? Do you know? Just even.
Emerald Bay.
I was just here.
I don't
We
know the
actually
names
went
of
here.
it. I've seen it.
Tahoe Home, Emerald Home, Mountain Home, or Vikings Home.
Vikings Home. That sounds right.
Go check it out. It's really cool. The parking sucks big time. We had to park, go along the freeway. It was not fun, but we hiked out one way. So it has a cool, we actually took the tour, spent the money, and went in the castle there down at the bottom.
I've only walked around it, but
It's really fun, and it's really good to see the history of it. And the lady who owned it has given it up, and it's a really cool.
now, isn't there like a hike that you can hike? So ways to hike along the waterfront.
We went to the waterfall too, so yes, there's all kinds of. Check it out. The Vikings Home it's up in towards Emerald Bay. It's actually at the.
Yeah, it's on the northeast side or northwest side.
Check it out. That one. See, this is great. We're actually killing a whole bunch of birds with one stone here. So, how many acres of forest around Lake Tahoe?
Oh, jeez.
75,000, 110,000, 135,000, 160,000 acres.
Within the basin, is that what it says?
Yep.
I don't know. Let's go C.
135,000. Nope.
Okay.
When you're in Tahoe, you gotta think big.
All right. I got all the way through college guessing C oftentimes.
It's not bad. It's
Just if you don't know.
160,000.
160,000. Jesus. That's big. That's lots of trees.
Yep, lots of trees. So, what is the origin? What is the origin of the name Tahoe? Native American, Spanish, French, Russian.
That's Native American.
Yeah, Native American. That's good.
They lived here.
Could have been Spanish,
No,
but
they lived here way
Native
before
American
us.
is Tahoe.
That's Washoe too. Isn't that where
Yep.
it comes from?
All right, here we go. And Brian already says this is a kind of a BS question because it kind of depends on when it was last done. But based on the data, don't be cussing on here anymore. How deep is the clarity of Lake Tahoe? One of the best things about it.
Okay, what are my choices?
50, 70, 90, 100 feet. Recently.
Recently? I mean, I've heard 90 to 100 feet, so say 90?
That's C. That's incorrect. They're choosing D every time. Because
D every time.
but basically what they do is every year, based on a time, they actually put a white dish and they keep taking it down until they see it.
Now, this was a big talk 20 years ago when I moved here. Was like the
it was
clarity
really
was being reduced, and this is when they installed all the restrictions for your boats. Like they have to do the boat inspections and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It might have started before 20 years ago, but I remember that was one of the big reasons was reducing the clarity. That's why I remember it being less than 100.
But we're doing good. 100.
So we improved.
Yes.
Good job.
So There's a lot, and from my engineering days as a civil engineer, there's a lot of work that goes into catching all the runoff, diverting it, treating it before it goes in the lake. There's a lot of money spent on that, and well worth it because we want to preserve that. So, all right, 2 more. I want 100%.
Let's go.
What is the highest peak around Tahoe?
Well, so we just decided that's Friel.
Yeah, and what is it?
It's
Is it 7, 8,000? I'm just gonna round these up.
Yeah.
88, 89, 8,800. Essentially 9,900 or 10,891.
Well, D apparently is usually the answer, but it's over 10,000 feet. I know that.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
All right. Cool.
All right, last one. Let's go
100%.
out with a bang here for 2023. I don't even know this one. What is the name of the famous environmentalist and conservationist who owned a cabin on the west shore of Tahoe and helped preserve the area? Ready?
Yeah.
John Muir, Rachel Carson, Aldo, or never heard of this guy, Leopold, or Henry David Thoreau?
John Muir. I mean, he did all kinds of exploration.
All right, I'll give
That's
you
it? All right, cool.
So, that was a fun little.
Yeah.
So, good job. I wouldn't have got as many as you probably would have. But so, another reason to come to Lake Tahoe or the Reno Sparks area, not only to visit but to live here. We do a lot of hiking, and this is a good area to promote my other channel, which is a drone channel. I do a lot of drone flying around Lake Tahoe legally within the parameters, so don't get all bent out of shape. I'll put my subscribe to my channel up there. We're doing some awesome drone videos, and got the new drone on the way, so we'll do some awesome ones in 2024.
You
So.
did that in Hawaii too, I think.
We do it everywhere, so we have a whole bunch of sections. Check it out. It's another thing
This
that
is how you write off your vacation.
That's right.
I understand.
And hopefully the IRS is not listening. So, anything else before we? Happy New Year. We're gonna be back.
No, let's go for a new year. I think it's just gonna. It'll. If everything stays steady, we can steadily improve, and that would come with probably lower interest rates would help that a lot.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So, all right.
Cool. Thanks,
Merry
Dan.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year. Like our channel. Give us a thumbs up. Last video had 4,000 views.
Yeah, I
So
saw. We got some.
We're making in like 25 likes. So please take the time
Give us a thumbs up.
and like our videos and share with your friends and family or someone's moving here. We just had one that someone shared and they called us. So
I shared.
and we have a lot of great information on it. So
Yeah, I shared a couple of your videos about the Washoe County assessor because everybody has questions about how they pay taxes. And
we have a lot of content on steroids coming out about how to use all the different resources.
Steroids?
Yep.
Okay.
It's on steroids. So, all right. Until next time, you guys have a Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, and a Happy New Year. Talk to you soon.